welcome back to the channel. This is Alex, and I'm here to talk to you about solar lead gen, solar appointment setting, solar status, and all the good stuff related to solar. And without further ado, let's jump right into this because in today's video, I would like to talk to you about the solar lead generation, the solar lead nurturing, and how this thing is all connected to solar sales. So basically, the whole solar acquisition system. And talking about this in the way of how we are actually setting this thing up within our company and how we are actually able to 3x all of the results that we are squeezing out from every single opportunity. So with that being said, I would like to talk to you about some few basic and fundamental principles regarding to marketing, regarding to lead generation, and regarding to lead nurturing, and also regarding to sales. So basically regarding to all acquisitions. So there are three parts in every single acquisition process. The very first one is lead generation, meaning that you actually have to find someone who will actually come in the door and will be just simply interested in your service. So in solar, this is obviously someone who is interested in saving energy. For a chiropractor, it is someone who has problems, with their back, so on and so forth. We actually have to get those people, educate those people, set up an appointment, a consultation, or whatever, make sure that they are qualified, and go through all these steps, which will result us to actually be able to sit down with that client, with that patient, whatever that might be, in order for us to have a sales process, which again should supposed to be a consultation where we are actually helping their problem and figuring out a solution for them so therefore we can quote unquote sell our services to them. And so I'm not here to talk about sales, but I'm here to actually talk about lead generation, but most importantly, lead nurture. Because this is what is happening, guys, all the time. Every single one is setting up leads out there. Every single person out there is generating leads. And there are also many people who are, closing. So what I see is that there is this huge group of lead generated marketers. There is huge group of people who actually close. At least this is what I see in solar, and this is my experience with my clients. And so what is happening is that there is this huge gap in the middle, which is this whole thing that you see over here within this presentation, and people just simply don't talk about that. And so people just simply don't talk about that. And so in today's video, I would like to walk you through the exact lead generation and lead nurturing process, which result us to actually have an appointment that actually shows that actually is qualified and is super high quality appointment that you can close 60-70% of. Okay? And so the actual idea and the actual magic is not happening on the level of generating the leads. The actual magic is not happening on the level of here, generating the leads with whether it would be Google ads, Facebook ads, YouTube ads, TikTok, whether it be cold calling, door knocking, email, whatever that might be, brother. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because at that point you can just simply have one lead who is not qualified, who's not picking up the phone, not responding to email, whatever that might be, and maybe sitting on an opportunity which could become a 32 kilowatt system, but you're just simply not able to close him because she's not even picking up the phone. Or there's another person who's picking up the phone. Turns out that he's 276 years old and has a roof that has leaks in it, and also like 6 foot tall trees all along the rooftop, so therefore it like zero sun exposure. And so he will be good. He is connected. You can connect with him, but he's not qualified. And so we have to address all these problems. You see. And so these are all the problems that we do have to address throughout the lead and nurturing process. The very first problem is that we have to make sure that that lead is qualified. After we can make sure that that lead is qualified, then we can actually go ahead, step number two, and we have to make sure that we are able to connect with that lead. So it is not enough that we've got it, we have to be able to connect with that guy. And after we've been able to connect, so it means that he's picking up the phone and responding to the SMS or the email, whatever that might be. After we've been able to do that, we have to make sure that we are able to set up an appointment with them. So somehow we are able to connect with them in the future. And this is perhaps the most important step. After we set up an appointment with them, we have to make sure that that person shows up at the appointment, brothers. Because if we don't, then we're just losing out. And if any of the following criteria doesn't meet, any of these four, fifth would be the lead generation, you are losing the sale just right away. It's like you do not even have a chance to shoot your shot. And so let me just simply start this whole thing from the beginning and expand on every single step. So, step number one, lead generation. So, what is happening with lead generation is that this is what we see. We have been using all the channels out there: Google, YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, whatever. What we've seen is with Facebook, we can actually generate the cheapest leads, and with a proper nurturing process, we can generate the cheapest appointments and the cheapest shows. And this is both for virtual, both for in-home sits. Uh, Disclaimer, doesn't work good if the in-home sits are super zip code specific. Okay, so this is step number one. Okay, but at this point, we just simply have a lead. So someone just was just raising his head at the table, like, I'm interested. Okay, and so what is happening after that? We have to make sure that that person is qualified. And so what is happening is that we are just simply driving them in on an opt-in page. And so on the opt-in page, we are just driving through all the questions. Hey, what is your monthly electricity bill? Hey, what is your credit score? Hey, uh, how does your look like? How old is your roof? Does it get enough sun exposure? So on and so forth. So these are all the metrics that we are making sure that that person is actually good. He's actually viable. He's a qualified lead. And so now that we've been able to say that, then now we have a lead. I'm supposed to say here that qualified. This is not just a lead, but this is a qualified lead. Okay, so from there on, this is just the technicals. We are just sending them to a thank you page. We are sending inside of our CRM. And here is when part three is happening. Now we have to make sure that we are able to connect with this person. And so how we are connecting with this person is there are three ways from here on. And so now the actual idea is that we have basically three routes that a lead can go through. Just think about that. So there is route number one. And so in route number one, what is happening is that you can just simply have someone who is so interested that he sees the ad and he's booking an appointment straight away. He's the most interested. He's super good. After he booked an appointment, we are connecting them with an SMS. Hey, Peter, you scheduled a call for today, 6 p.m. Is that a good time for you? This is Alex from Solar Brothers, whatever. Yes, I am. Good. That appointment is good. That way we have been able to generate the lead. We've been able to qualify the lead. We've been able to connect with the lead, and we've been able to pretty much do the nurturing sequence too, which will eventually lead us to the show, which is the final objective. Okay, so this is the best case, but most of the times this doesn't happen. Okay, and whether you're talking about online leads, whether you're talking about cold call leads, whatever that might be. And so now we are just simply stepping on the step number two, which would be a nurturing sequence. And so what happens over there? And so what happens over there is super simple. So instead of that person just booking an appointment straight away, we just simply start to connect with him. First, we're sending him an email. After that, we are sending him an SMS. If he didn't book an appointment, we continue. We are sending him an SMS. Hey, you're interested. Sending them an email. Hey, this is what kind of value we can offer. This is how much you can save on your electricity. Blah 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 blah. And after that, we are actually setting up a call with them. And that way, we are just simply making sure that that person actually understands what we are talking about. We are making sure that we are not pushy with this and making sure that they book the appointment. Okay. So we are nurturing a lead. And in step three, or I would say route three, would be that we are manually calling up the leads. And so when we are manually calling the leads, we are just simply connecting them as we are. And so it's like, hey, as soon as they did opt in, we are just simply calling them up. And it's like, hey, this is Alex. We are some Solar Bros, Solarnet, whatever that might be. You scheduled a consultation call if you're going to solar. Would you be interested in exploring how you can actually save on your electricity bill? And from there on, they are just simply booking up an appointment. So with that being said, these are the three routes of how we can go about connecting with the leads. Okay. And so this here, you can see how we can connect with the leads. And not only that, how we can connect with the leads, but how we can actually nurture them up until the point that they show. So these are all the steps of the process. And so over here, we have to make sure that we are actually able to connect with those guys. And so without that, we are just simply not able to set up a proper appointment. We are not able to schedule up a proper appointment. And this is what is happening again, guys. This is what is happening in the industry so much. Like there are like so many sort of professionals going with a company who are generating leads, who is setting up appointments, but it's nothing. A set appointment is still just a set appointment. That is still not finalized. That's just only step number four. And so now that you have a set appointment, now you're still not there because that appointment needs to show. And maybe that appointment is not even qualified. So it's like you're just missing two steps already. And up until the point that we do not have all the five steps to be checked, we don't have someone who is properly prepared to close. Can they show up? Yes, they might, but we are not doing everything. And so, if you are not striving for excellence to actually go through all the five steps and make sure that we are doing all of the best that we can in order for us to be able to make someone show who is qualified, with whom we can connect and whom we are able to set up an appointment, then we are just simply leaving money on the table. And so, I was talking about it yesterday, just to talk about a little bit of math. So it's like if you are able, so we have five steps in the process. If you are able to improve all five steps in the process by only 25%, I've done the math for this yesterday, you will be able to 3x your whole funnel. Meaning that if you are doing a 25% improvement in every single step, you have 3x the results. So instead of you closing two deals, you're closing six. Instead of this is how it comes. Instead of you having two shows, you have six shows. How many times the opportunities are higher for six shows to close? Three times. Like simple as this. And now that you have that, you can just simply go ahead and kill your competition. And this is what is happening. And so don't just simply look for lead generation agents. Everyone can generate leads. That's nothing. You can just literally Google up like setting up Facebook ads for solar leads. You can find creatives and you just go. It's nothing. But this is the hard part, brother. This is the hard part. It requires a lot of burn phone calls, a lot of burn leads, a lot of just this is the essence here. And after the point that we've been able to get to this place when they are actually qualifying, scheduling up a call, then we are in the destination. And so within this process, we have to make sure that we understand the point because otherwise we'll be just simply losing up opportunity. And so this is how you can win. It's not like lead doesn't work or appointment doesn't work. No, lead nurturing process doesn't work. The vetting process doesn't work. And so whether you are hiring someone, if you're working with someone to actually who is actually handling this part, whether you are handling this part by yourself, but this part needs to be handled. And so you just understand this, brother. It's like if you don't have ingredients, then you will not. You can be the best hamburger maker in the whole United States or the whole world. If you don't have the ingredients, if you don't have the beef or the pork, whatever that might be, you will not be able to make a good hamburger. And so, if you don't have the person to show on the meat, you can't close them. If you don't have the beef for the hamburger, you can't make the good hamburger. And so, with that being said, you're just losing just right there. And so, this is how you have to actually proceed with these ideas. It's you have to max this thing out, and without this understanding, like this is why we're honestly this is why we're struggling in the very early ages and stages of Solarnet.cc because I just simply didn't understand it. I was like, hey, we have leads, yeah, but they don't show. So we just started calling them. We just started to figure out what is happening, and yes, it's harder than you would think. By the way, industry average is 6% closing of a lead, warm lead. I'm talking about a Facebook lead. So think about that. You need 100 leads to be able to close 6. If you have this thing in place. If you don't have this thing in place, then God bless you, man, because I have no idea where will you be, because maybe one or two out of 100 leads. Because solar is, again, competitive. It's super easy to sell. It's a no-brainer. It's a good offer. Man, everyone is selling solar. Everyone's selling solar leads. But no one understands this. So with that being said, if you got any questions, or if you think that this is something that could actually help your business to grow and could be the missing gap, then we are here to help. Just schedule a call with me. Um, we are here to help to actually set this thing up for you, and so on and so forth. Thank you so much for watching this, and I hope it really made sense to you. See you.